Hello, so we're going to be talking about IMAPS and DNS. For the introduction, the IMAPS, Internet Message Access Control Protocol, Secure, and DNS, Domain Name System protocols, are essential to modern communication networks. IMAPS secures email retrieval over SSL or TLS, while DNS translates domain names into IP addresses. In this presentation, we're going to explore how to configure these protocols on Linux and Windows systems with a focus on security hardening. Um, I IMAPS is used for secure email retrieval, while DNS translates domain into the IP addresses. And they are both targets for attackers. IMAPS for credible credential theft and DNS for redirection attacks. What is IMAPS? IMAP is Internet Message Access Protocol. It allows email clients to access messages on a mail server. Internet Message Access Protocol Secure uses SSL or TLS encryption to protect data during transmission. Uses port 993, that's a D 993, that's default for IMAPS. Um, the purpose is to ensure privacy and data integrity between client and server. IMAPS allows users to access emails from multiple devices while keeping them synchronized to the server. Encryption is vital because emails often contain personal and sensitive data. Configuring IMAPS with Dovcat on Linux. So the steps, I didn't include all the um, commands that you would need to put in it. For the first one I did, you would first install Dovecot, then you would have to enable IMAPS. Next, you would enable SSL or TLS, and then you'd have to restart the device. Um, Dovecot is one of the most popular IMAP or POP3 servers for Linux. The SSL or TLS certificates protect connection between clients and the mail server. Hardening recommendations for IMAPS Dovecap. One, use strong SSL certificates to employ modern ciphers and disable outdated ones. Two, enforce secure authentication, requires strong passwords, and consider OAuth 2 of two-factor authentication. Three, limit user access and logging, restrict IMAPS to specific IP ranges, and enable logging to monitor unauthorized access attempts. The outdated encryption methods are a major vulnerability. Disable these old TLS versions. It's important to enforce strong passwords and do multi-factor authentication to protect your passwords. Um, Restricting access to known IPs and monitoring logs help to detect intrusions early. What is DNS? DNS stands for Domain Name System. It converts human-readable domain names into IP addresses. The key function, enable network communication and routing. Security concern, vulnerable to spoofing, cache poisoning, and DOS attacks. DNS is like the phone book of the internet. Users rely on DNS every time they visit a website, and attackers exploit DNS weaknesses to redirect users to fake or malicious sites. Configuring DNS using IIS for the Windows. One, you would install DNS server role, Go to use server manager, add roles and features in the DNS server. 2, open DNS manager, create forward lookup zone, and then you'd go to assign domain name. 3, add DNS records. You got A, MX, CNAME, and PTR records as needed. Number 4, enable DNS logging. Helps detect suspicious or repeated failed lookups. Hardening DNS on the IIS for Windows. 1, implement DNS SEC digital signs record to ensure authenticity. 2, restrict zone transfers, allow only Pacific LPS authorized secondary servers. 3, enable response rate limiting RRL. Helps mitigate DNS application and DDoS attacks. Configuring DNS using bind on Linux. 1, you would have to install bind, and then 2, you would edit configurations files, and then you would just start and verify. Hardening DNS and bind with Linux. 1, run bind as a non-root user. This will reduce the privilege risk if compromised. 2, disable recursion if authoritative only. Prevents abuse from DNS amplifications. 3, enable DNSSEC or SEC validation. Protects against forged or tampered DNS data. Bind, BIND, is most widely used DNS server on the Linux. Here's a chart, just a comparison of the functions, the default ports, encryption, common threats, and hardening focus for IMAPS and DNS. For the function of IMAPS is secure email retrieval. DNS is name to IP resolution. IMAPS is port 993. DNS is port 53. Encryption for IMAPS is SSL or TLS. DNS is optional via DNS SEC. Common threats for IMAPS is credential theft. We talked about that. Or MIITM. We also talked about how the DNS common threats are spoofing and cache poisoning and DOS attacks. IMAPS hardening focus, encryption authentication. Get that two-factor authentication, all that we talked about earlier. For DNS, data and integrity, and access control, hardening focus. Okay, so to conclude this presentation, both IMAPS and DNS are foundational to secure communication. Proper configuration of hardening are critical to protecting data and infrastructure. And regular updates, strong authentication, and encryption remain key to maintaining resilience against cyber attacks. Here's my works cited page where I got my information from. Thank you guys.